Hello everybody, Simon here. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than our usual making videos. Today I'm going to show you how I design my patterns, and I'm going to share with you how can you make your patterns in Procreate just as I do. Procreate is a very simple program. It's made for digital artists and it's purposely made to be running on Apple products. To make stuff on Procreate, you of course need your iPad, and it's good when you have an Apple Pencil. I still have the old one. I forgot where I put the tip on first day that I got it. I have this one for 5 years almost, and it works on this set. It's a paid program. You have to buy it from the Apple Store. It's a one-time transaction. You pay once for the program and you have it for your lifetime or until you're going to get rid of your device. Although I think it's bound to your iCloud, so you probably just buy it once for the eternity. Is it the best program to make patterns? I don't think so. I'm doing it on Procreate simply because my old computer is unable to run Adobe Illustrator. So I'm doing it on the stuff that I can and I'm familiar with. I don't advise making patterns on Procreate. If you have ability to use Adobe Illustrator, I think it's going to be far better idea to get the hold of this program. Although it's not the best, it still makes the job done. The patterns go out with the high quality. You don't have to focus on making the transfers. You just click to export to PDF and you have a ready to print PDF. So without further ado, let's jump to the program. I'm going to make myself to jump in one of those corners and I'm going to see you on my iPad. Before you do the digital stuff, let's talk about analog stuff. So before you do any of the pattern making on electrical devices, make sure to make paperback patterns by yourself. This is the wallet that we're going to make today in digital. For months I was making this based on just this paper pattern that I did, and it was 100% hand-drawn and hand-cut. What the digital thing is going to allow us is to make the room of error base to minimum. All the corners are going to be sharp, everything is going to be down to the millimeters, and it's going to be very precise. As you can see, this wallet is not that bad. There is still some flaws and I have to address it. That's why I'm making digital copy. I will see you shortly after you make your patterns in the paper, after you make your prototypes, and let's jump to the iPad. So here we have our Procreate program. It's the first thing that you're going to see. Of course, when you first start, there's going to be nothing here. I think there will be a couple of those projects that you see to show you how it works. We want to make our first project. So to create our first project, we are going to need an A4 paper if we want to make a printable pattern. So we're going to click plus and we're going to have different sizes of our canvases. The screen size, square, 4K, A4, 4x6, paper, comic, and face paint. We are going to get an A4 because this is our printing paper. This is our canvas. To make our drawing a little bit easier, we're going to go to the wrench and we have those small little assets below. So we have crop and resize, that's not going to be interesting for us. Animation assist if you want to make animations. Page assist if you want to flip pages. And we have a drawing guide. So we're putting the drawing guide, and as you can see, there is this little grid on our paper. When you're going to first put it in, it's going to be based on pixels because we want to click edit drawing guide. You have different types of things that you can change. So you have opacity, so it's going to change how visible the grid is. We're going just to stick with a very faint black color. The thickness, which is going to be how thick the lines are. Still, we're going to be around 50% just to make it visible. And the most important, we have a grid size. So as you can see, it's 111 pixels. When we click it, we can change to millimeters, centimeters, inches, and pixels. I personally go with millimeters because I live in Europe, so it's easier for me. And I'm setting it for 5 millimeters, so it's going to be a very small grid. For my American friends, and in freedom units, you can just do inches. So I'm sticking with millimeters, and I'm going to have 5 millimeters, and here. We can still do assisted drawing. It's going to make our lines straight. They're going to be kind of catchy to each other. We have a 5 millimeter grid, just like in the typical grid paper. And the most important parts about your whole canvas in Procreate. On your left, you have those little arrows. You can undo or go back to things that you did. So if you did like a mistake, you can just click it. Different Apple pencils, I know that you can tap on them and they also go back. I don't have this one, I just have the basic one. Then you have those two things that go up and down. The one is for opacity, so if you want to make your pen a little bit more faint, you just go down or up. And the upper one is to make size of the pen. I usually stick to around 4 and 5 because it's still visible, but it's one that it's going to be more close to Adobe Illustrator. There's also this rectangle thing. It's made for picking up colors. We're not going to use it because we mainly work in black and white. If you're going to, for example, make tooling and the different colors, that might be helpful. I'm not doing that. It's the tool that you can use. The far right corner, we're going to have this small pen, the finger, the eraser, and layers. Of course, colors. We're gonna talk about it maybe on a different one, but we're going just to stick to the black and white canvas. So we have different brushes you can choose. This is kind of like to the finger preset is kind of like to mash it. We're not gonna use it. The eraser, I think it's self-explanatory. You can just use it to erase things. And the layers, the most important part. We're going to have a background color that is going to be white. And we have layers. Layer 1, which is assisted, we put it on the assist here. Layers are the backbone of your project. You have to understand that you need to work on layers. The layers are going to dictate on what parts of the project you're working. Okay, I think we are ready to start with our projects. So we are going to start by gathering the diameters and measurements of our project that we did in paper. I have them put here. It's a little board that I can just use everywhere, and I have my diameters here. I advise you to do it on a piece of paper just to not put it here, but if you want you can always put it on the layer first and just or make additional layer and just scribe down your measurements. After that, I think we should start with our first layer. So the first thing that I always do is to make a rough shape. Rough rectangular shapes that are going to make it easier for us to actually later add the curvatures and to apply different finishes. So my project is 9.5 centimeters in length and 7 centimeters in width. So what I'm going to do is I created layer 2. I'm going to rename it and I'm going to input the name of box 1. And after that, I'm just going to draw 9.5 centimeters in length. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.5. When I get, the Procreate creates the line automatically if I put my Apple Pencil in one direction. It can just go right like this and it will always create a perfect line. I align it with the lines of the grid that I put on earlier. So that's our first line. I can make another line in the next layer. So this is 9.5. And I'm going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 centimeters. I'm holding it down. Creates the perfect line. I hold it down. I can still do edit line and make sure it aligns perfectly with my project. And now I just do another layer and I match it with the first. You can see it's perfectly straight, covers the grid. Another layer, and so we have perfect rectangular box, and this is the backbone of our project. Right now we're going to make a group. Of course, I'm going to rename every single layer, and after renaming it, I'm going to make something called grouping. So I put everything in new group. What is going to allow us, I can just duplicate, and with this arrow preset I can just duplicate the same box. So it's going to be identical and I could freely move it around. And now we have two parts of our wallet, as you can see. The things that we lack now is we don't have those curvatures and we don't have those cutouts in our project. So another thing that I'm going to do is I have to create a special layers for my circles. And how I do it? We have our layer with our circle and I just do it somewhere in the bottom where it doesn't do anything. Same idea with the line. I make a rough shape of a circle, I hold it down, and Procreate tells me that ellipse is created. I just click it to put it down, and I click circle, and I have perfect circle right now. I can go around with those blue dots, but I just click the small little arrow, and I'm going to always have a perfect circle that is going to fit in those boxes. Right now I have boxed circle that it's in diameter of 2, and if I want it I can just put. So here is my circle with R1. So it's 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and this is our outline, this is our base. Why we are using this one? Because I'm not going to use every single time, I'm not gonna draw another circle. So what can I do is I check how many circles I need in this project, and I just copy. So in this project I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circles, and I just copy them. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I rename them circle R1, point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. After renaming the circles, I just take the first one and I move it to the area that I need the circle in. So in this example, I'm using one finger outside. I'm not using my Apple Pencil, I'm just using my finger, and I'm getting it to the edge of my project. And it's very important to match the edges very well, and that's how we make edges in Procreate. Reset, I click the other buttons, I go to another circle, point 1, and I move it to the other area. How to make a big cutout. I check this big thing here, how to make a cutout. So what I found out is you have to know the diameter, how long the circle is, what's the height, and what's the distance between those 2 points. So here and here we have 5 centimeters, and this is 1 centimeter deep. So what I found out that half of this diameter and your height is going to be the diameter of your circle. So it's going to be radius of your circle. So we now have to make a circle in another layer that it's going to be circle with R. So same as always, rough shape, creates an ellipse, we're doing circle, and we're clicking the special button. And now we have to create a circle that is 7 centimeters in diameter. And after we have our 7 centimeter circle in diameter, we're just going to move it up our project. I'm trying to put it the best I can. So my cut is 1 centimeter deep and 5 centimeters, and it finishes at 1 centimeter from the side. Now we can take our eraser and we can just erase. I always take smaller eraser at the beginning to make the biggest changes and to make sure that I don't erase other stuff, and then I go to bigger size and I just erase. Okay, we have our cutout on circle with diameter. What we can do is we can take circle, I think it's this one, yeah, and we can duplicate it, we can change the name, and we just put circle R20 because it's going to be 2 centimeters in diameter, and we can just scale it, easy as that. As you can see, easily 2 centimeters, no fuss. There is no need, we can just get it and put in our project. So 1.5, as you can see, we have 2.5 millimeters, 2.5 millimeters, and we know that our circle and circle number 5 creates a gap and a hole that is 5 millimeters long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm putting my circle down. And yeah, that's basically almost the end of our project. Now it's the time for cleanup to make everything look nice and neat. And I'm connecting this with our small keyhole layer, same time here. Okay, we have our outline. Advice for you for later is to use a smaller size of the pen to make the big circles, so you're just going to make them more pleasing to your eye, because right now I'm going to make arcs and do it my way. I'm going to erase them in an arc, so they're going to be a little bit less bulky. But if you want to make something that is going to nicer looking, just use like a 1% or even. I'm going to shut up for a second, finish all of this, no talking, and I'm going to see you after the time lapse. Okay, we have our template done, and now it's the fun part. Actions. This is the wrench. I'm going to put add, and I have files, photos. We can take photos, and we can also add text. I'm in photos. I'm just going to put additional layer, and as you can see, it's my previously made pattern. And I'm just going to scoot it down, all the way down, so it's visible under everything. Also, we can just add text. Procreate and text is a little bit tricky, so you have to play it with yourself. I use Rockwell. You can also just put it like this. It's going to perfectly fit. And yeah, that's how you do it. You can also put QR code if you have a YouTube video. So that's our pattern. I hope you liked making it with me. I'm going to make a video on this keyhole card holder. Stay tuned. I hope you liked today's lesson. If you have any questions, be sure to comment them down below or go to my Instagram and DM me there by the Sable Atelier. And I hope you have a beautiful day. I will see you later, and happy crafting!